Hello and welcome back to the February 15th issue of the Under the Umbrella podcast from the Big Green Umbrella Media Studio. I'm your host, one of your hosts, Cody Williams, with...
Tammy Pearson, Iowa Living Magazine's editor.
I didn't mean to almost shut you out there. That was terrible of me.
Not at all.
Well, how the heck are you, Tammy?
You know, I'm just great. I'm just great. You've stolen my catchphrase.
It's
how
too...
the heck are you?
I'm the heck fine.
Good.
How the heck are you? That's pretty good.
We're falling into a rut, Cody.
No. A groove.
Okay, that's better.
Not a rut, but a groove.
That's better.
Well, we've got some pretty good stuff to talk to you guys about today. It's a little bit colder this morning, but I think overall the weather's getting a little bit nicer. Valentine's Day was yesterday.
How was your Valentine's Day?
It was lovely. I had a lovely Valentine's Day. My girlfriend and I cooked a nice dinner, had some flowers, exchanged some gifts. It was great.
Nice.
What about you?
You showed me a picture. It was a meal that could beat any restaurant in the metro.
I wouldn't go that far. It could beat a couple, but I wouldn't go that far.
Well, it looked tasty. I see you did not bring leftovers.
I do have some at home. I didn't think I could. All that was really left was some potatoes and half of a steak, and I felt weird about bringing that in. I'll let Amanda tackle that one.
There.
Well, Tammy, do you want to kick us off with the beginning of your ever-important joke of the day?
Oh, of course I do.
Oh, yeah.
This one requires a little listening. Why didn't the farmer divorce his wife when she traded their milking cow for a book of poetry?
That's a good... I wonder what it could be.
You'll find out at the end of the podcast.
We got to keep them on their toes for that one.
That's right. One of our better ones.
I thought so. Last week's is pretty hard to beat, but...
Oh, goodness.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about some more CityView stories that are in the February edition. I know we talked a lot about the best of Des Moines, stuff like that, but there's tons of good stuff in this magazine, the biggest one that we put out every year. Going to tell you about Joe's Neighborhood, Bad Luck with Knitting Needles. Say that 5 times fast, written by Joe Weig. He talks about how his wife once got stuck with a needle in her derriere, as his daughter might have wanted him to have phrased it. One of the things I took away from that story is that they've been married for 43 years and that he proposed 2 weeks after they met.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow. No, I cannot.
Well, that was a fun story.
It was love. They just knew it.
The way that he phrased it was that his wife is much, much better at catch than he is, and he knew he had to lock it down quick.
Like the housing market recently. You saw a house you wanted, you had to nab it.
You got to nab it.
But, he did, ponder whether or not he should make fun of her knitting needle injury. But hopefully she found the humor in it.
That was great, Reed. Next up, our last feature story that we'll feature that we'll talk about this month, written by Jim Duncan. Love stories, not all butterflies and romance. Jim talks about love stories from dogs to taxidermies to restaurant owners. Special story on how they ended up here after years of bouncing around. That couple, I think I should have written down what restaurant they own, but
Irina's.
Was it Irina's? I
Yes.
thought it was Irina's, but
Yes.
I didn't want to be wrong. Just how their story about how they got here, all their trials and tribulations, that was fantastic. There was that one piece of the story where I think it might have been on their wedding day, or they were both dressed up, dressed to the nines, and they ended up being out in the field and on the farm. His wife was in heels out there.
Picking up rocks, I believe, wasn't it? That was an inspiring story.
It was. Yes. It was. That was a great...
Everything that they worked very hard to do to get to where they are today.
Mm-hmm. Next up, People and Pets. This one's written by Jackie Wilson. Black cats are delightful, not scary. Jackie,
Yes.
yeah, Jackie Wilson interviewed Sarah Muller, who talks about how she got her black cat Luca, talks about fostering cats, how her coworkers, have their cats together and they get on little Zoom calls together and whatnot. I thought that was pretty cute, pretty fun. Black cats are not scary.
It's there are people who have very strong feelings against black cats, and they say that black cats are least likely to get adopted from shelters just because they're black. But I have a black cat. He is the most lovable guy I could, cuddly and purry and just a sweetheart.
Right. Oh, I do love cats. I don't think I've ever owned a black cat in my family either. Well, no, my family definitely has, but it's a cat.
Yes.
Would you not get a black dog?
No,
I've
you
had
would
black.
get a black dog
I would.
because black Labrador retrievers are very well loved. And yeah.
My grandma had a black labradoodle or a golden doodle. Huge
a black
dog.
Golden doodle. You've confused me.
I might have lost. I might have lost myself. Massive dog, huge dog. Either way, and was just so cuddly. Bo, sweet dog.
Oh, Bo was a Bo.
He was a Bo. Next, I'm going to tell you a little bit about film reviews written by David Rowley. He reviewed American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson. This movie explores racism, identity, and commodification of black narratives. Madam Web, directed by S.J. Clarkson. This is a movie in a reality separate from the sacred MCU timeline. Kind of like a Spider-Man movie, but from the different comics that Madam Web, kind of like a female Spider-Man.
Oh, I've not heard of that.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I need to watch that one because I'm a big Marvel fan. I try to catch them all.
That, yes.
Lisa Frankenstein, directed by Zelda Williams, a rom-com by way of Edward Scissorhands and Sweeney Todd. That one looked pretty interesting. And Argylle, directed by Matthew Vaughn, about a spy novelist taken into a real spy scenario. David Rowley reviewed all those films. You should check them out.
That last one sounds good.
It did.
Was there a murder in that movie?
I don't know.
I'll check it out.
You'll have to investigate. You'll have to get on your spy.
Yes. He's motioning with his hands, and yes, on that I shall get there.
Art news. Jeff Fleming's Absurdities. There's some beautiful art featured in this story. Jim Duncan, kind of details where Fleming's inspiration behind this style comes from and what it represents, as well as talks about some art news, as you'd expect, such as Elton John selling 900 items from his former Atlanta penthouse, expected to fetch more than $10 million.
Oh, I would love to have a piece of memorabilia from Elton John's apartment.
If you got a couple $100,000 laying around, you could get a nice piano or...
I don't.
But yeah, good stuff in there. Iowa Artist. This one also written by Jackie Wilson. She spoke to Alcohol Inc. artist Carrie Jo Storjohan, I believe is how that was pronounced. Some equally beautiful artwork in there, very colorful, as opposed to some in Art News by Jeff Flemings. She details how she creates the artwork in her story that was featured. It's pretty interesting and goes into some of her personal life, which included that her heart stopped twice at one point.
And her art is very joyful. She makes a point of mentioning that. And I do feel a sense of joy when I look at her artwork. It's beautiful.
It was very colorful, looks still very detailed for how she described the process. I was like, that's beautiful.
Yes.
Great stuff. You can read all those stories and more on our website, those City View stories at www.dmcityview.com. Tammy, do you want to tell us about some of the Iowa Living Magazine stories that are coming up?
Well, this week published our area recreation guide for Saylorville Lake, and it has maps, information about camping, attractions, and much, much more for Saylorville Lake, Big Creek, and Jester Park. So if you're planning on finding some really great summer recreation right here in our own backyard, you can find that publication online if you don't see it a hard copy out there, but you can get it online at www.iowalivingmagazines.com and go to the top menu for special publications and drag down to community guides. You'll also find our Discover Dallas County, Discover Madison County, and Discover Guthrie County. So plan on some day trips and look there for the information.
That is a great resource and a great guide because that whole area is so beautiful and there's so much to do out there.
Yes, and it will help you plan your trip and make the most of it.
Mm-hmm. Get some boat rentals if you want to go on a hike, if you want to go disc golfing, if you want to go camping. A little bit of everything out there, and it helps you with every single aspect from that.
Yes.
Love that area. When was the last time you got out there, Tammy?
Oh, goodness. I remember driving over that long bridge.
I love that bridge.
I don't even know why I was up that direction. No, I do not like that bridge. No. There's too much water near it.
When I was living in Ames and I was driving and I would drive down to Des Moines, sometimes I would go that way specifically just so I could drive over that bridge and look over and see all the water on both sides. It's so pretty.
I look straight ahead and just hope I make it to the other end.
But that is a great guide and a great resource.
Yes.
Tammy, very
Cody.
important question for you that I think I know the answer to. Where do you stand on cats versus dogs?
Well, I have to admit, when I grew up, we had both cats and dogs, always. I just figured they were fairly equal pets, although they behave very differently. But, cats are much, I've got a lot of cats.
Yeah.
And I don't have a dog just because, boy, too many cats.
Yeah.
But I do like both. But, you have to be kind of a special person to like a cat.
Do you think so?
Don't you?
Maybe.
You can't be too needy. I mean, if
Yeah.
you want lovin's and kisses and greeted at the door.
They're not going to give you that.
No. Get a dog.
I feel, cats are a lot easier to look after, I think.
Yes.
I think that's one thing that people say, how am I supposed to take care of a cat? They really take care of themselves for the most part. They go in their own litter box. They clean themselves. They stay out of your way for the most part. But then, sometimes when you do get the odd cat that's very super lovey and cuddly, I got one back at my parents' house that's just a whole bucket of love.
Oh.
Well, Maple. But
yes. That sounds like a loving cat's name, doesn't it?
And that he is. But dogs, I do love dogs. Even though I am a big cat person, I think I would probably prefer dogs if I had to pick one. But I don't know why. I don't know why I feel that way.
Well, dogs have a special human connection where they love and respect their people. Cats just kind of look at themselves as the master of the human.
Yeah.
It's a different relationship.
And I feel like it's easier to read a dog and kind of get what they'll be a lot more vocal about how they're feeling or what they're wanting.
Good point.
Versus what a cat. And they both have their fun little personalities, but
a dog is pretty straightforward. Take me out, give me lovin's, go for a ride.
Play with me.
Throw that ball over and over and over again.
They're both great. I think. And if you can get some that get along together, I think you get the perfect combo. Because at my parents' house, our dogs and cats, they get along just fine. They love each other. If anything, they'll lick each other and they'll lay on each other and they'll do the whole thing. It looks like something out of a Disney movie.
Oh.
And then, you got some dogs, like Amanda's dog, the dog that we have at home, doesn't hate cats, but just like zeroes in on them, chases them down, not trying to eat them necessarily, but doesn't know what to do with them, but knows that she does not want to leave them alone.
And the cat is
not happy.
no.
Not happy about it. I can tell you that much. But yeah, I guess I just wanted your opinion on that. I feel like you do love cats.
I do. Have you seen my coffee cup?
Let me see it.
It says, in a perfect world, every home would have a cat, and every cat would have a home.
That's beautiful.
And if you want to give a cat a home, give me a call. I have some spare. Oh, I kid you not.
Have you heard about I think we might have talked about it, the cat distribution theory?
No.
You don't find cats, cats find you, and the higher power that be gives you cats versus, they'll choose you. That's the cat, because, my cat, Maple was a gift. He was found on the side of the road. Yes. And then our other cats that we had at home for such a long time, they were strays in our neighborhood that would just come around the house. We fed them, but they came around the house.
That's how I got all mine.
Mm-hmm. That's a fun theory, fun thing to look into.
I believe it.
Well, I'm also going to tell you about some of the stuff that's coming up this weekend, some fun things for you to plan your weekend around and go do. You've got the Iowa Beef Expo that will be at the fairgrounds this entire weekend. All things beef, if you're looking for some beef. Not the bad kind, not the fighting kind. No beef like that, but the Iowa Beef Expo will be at the fairgrounds this entire weekend. Our Town, the production Our Town, will be at the Des Moines Community Playhouse. That's going to be recurring this entire weekend as well. The state wrestling tournament will be at Wells Fargo through Saturday. It started yesterday, and it'll be going through with the championships concluding on Saturday. That'll be a fun time if you want to go see some wrestling. And on Sunday, you can catch a Des Moines Buccaneers game at the Buccaneer Arena. They'll be playing against the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders.
Cody, did you say wrestling?
Wrestling.
Oh, my. Okay. We'll have a talk after this.
Not a fan of the wrestling?
No, great event. Gosh, there's lots going on, isn't there, Cody?
Ton going on, yeah. The weather's getting a little bit nicer. Even though all those things are inside, get out there. Go do something. Maybe hit the Brenton Skating Plaza while you still got some, it's still chilly just enough. Do a little ice skating.
Yep.
All right, Tammy, you know what I need?
Oh, what?
I need the joke of the day.
Oh, you want?
I need the answer, of course.
You want the answer? Okay.
I do.
Let me repeat the question.
Let's hear it.
Why didn't the farmer divorce his wife when she traded their milking cow for a book of poetry?
Why?
Well, because in his vows he married her for butter or verse. Oh. Next time, do the crickets chirping.
I don't remember honest. Which one that is.
Be honest if you don't want. Oh,
oops. That's not crickets. Some what's the show?
Twilight Zone?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That was going to escape me.
Have you seen Twilight Zone?
I've seen a couple episodes. My stepdad made sure to get me educated on some of that media. Okay. Watched a couple episodes.
Oh, I remember. Oh, those were good. Scary.
Oh, yeah. Well, that will do it for us. We want to thank you for listening to the Big Green Umbrella podcast, Under the Umbrella. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. You can read our Guthrie Center publications at www.gctimesnews.com. You can read our Iowa Living magazines at www.iowalivingmagazines.com. And you can read our City View stories at www.dmcityview.com. If you have a story suggestion or would like to make a comment, you can send those to editor@dmcityview.com over email. Thank you and goodbye.